Hey there everyone, we're back at 650 feet. Things are about to get tough. So I was just thinking before I started the game that my inventory here is starting to get pretty packed. And I mean, I don't need to preemptively optimize, but this round shield of deflection really isn't doing too much for me. The kite shield of Hador hurts. So I'm just going to switch to the kite shield and free up some room that way. I should be wearing my real helmet. I think that's it. So I'm gonna, as we go, things get more and more dangerous, and because I've been investing in, oh, hello, there's a forge. I didn't even see that. Okay, I was thinking about diving past this floor, because my min depth is starting to get pretty close to my actual depth, and I like to be ahead of the game. But if we did find a forge, I'll probably try to pull some experience on this floor just in case. But it's quite a lot of dragons. What I was going to say is that our damage output right now, because I've been focusing so much on smithing, like I put my archery up pretty high, but that's about it. We don't have a way of causing damage once we do hit. So there are skills in the trees here that would help, like flaming arrows would help because it does an extra die of damage to most monsters. Like there are some fire resistant monsters as we go, but in the early game these poisoned arrows are great because almost nothing resists poison. But now at this stage in the game, like everything resists poison. It's hard to find something that doesn't. Although this one I could probably poison. But anyhow, I'm going to try to pick my fights more wisely. I've been shooting into the dark and stuff, and even though I have a bow of radiance, that doesn't help me know. That helps me hit. Ooh, a Staff of Majesty. These things are great if you actually have will. I have no willpower. My elf goes home at night and sits on the couch and eats chips and doesn't go to the gym. And as a result, the Staff of Majesty, what it's supposed to do is when you use it, monsters run away from you. It's awesome when you get surrounded. But with such crummy will, I probably won't be able to even use the staff reliably. And if I do, I doubt that monsters will fail their will check. So. And I'm not going to find that door. I'm sure that's a door, but my perception is terrible too, so. I don't really want to smash this down because it'll make a lot of noise, but doesn't look like anything hurt me. Looks like there's a shadow spider or something over here. Let's leave that alone. Oh, that was a Silroko or something. I'm gonna run back the way I came because I'm pretty confident there aren't monsters there. So maybe he's forgotten me by now. Good. Once I find something that gives me true sight, those won't be nearly as much of a problem anymore. But so these are Spears of Final Rest. Those are actually much more valuable than... so Final Rest just gives you a slay against undead. So you'll have an extra damage dice against any undead monsters. Which normally the slays aren't amazing, like they're not game-breaking or anything. But a lot of undead monsters in this game are critical resistant or... Well, I was lucky there. Acid splashing can damage all kinds of stuff. But yeah, usually undead monsters are at least critical resistant, a lot of them. And for my character, who relies a lot on criticals, an extra damage dice can be super helpful, but I don't really trust my guy to throw spears anyway, so certainly not to stab with them. You'll notice I'm hugging the walls here, and that's because that gives you like a better chance to stay out of sight. I think I've mentioned that before. What is that? Clearly there's a shadow spider over there. Let's switch to talk. I don't actually know what that warning message means when it says you're having trouble wielding such a heavy item. Like, I know my strength isn't high enough to use it properly. But all I need to do is dig. Maybe it means I won't be able to attack as well with it. Where's my shield? Another spider, or even worse, could be a lurking horror. These cat warriors, have we seen these yet? No, these are my first two. I don't know if we've seen these before in a previous game, because we've never made it very far. These are like the orcs of the deep levels. They run fast and they hit very accurately and pretty hard, but they have really crummy hit points and really crummy protection. I'm gonna just leave them alone for now. And they actually have pretty good perception, so it's hard to dodge around them like that. There's meat over there too. I'll just eat this bread. I don't really want to like hold on to a whole lot of food. There's a lot of good items here too. Oh, that's a lantern. I didn't even see that. Okay, I need to get that. Okay, the fact that I wielded it and I still don't know what it is, and it's not cursed, pretty much guarantees that it's true sight. So this is awesome. Now I can see those Sirocco things. So I'm not going to waste this oil. I'm going to hang on to it. Ring of Warmth. That would be useful if I didn't have the Kite Shield of Hador already. Which way should I go from here? So as you can see, stealth is pretty good. Those cat warriors, they have pretty good perception, but I was able to squeak right by them. Small dart hits you, but is deflected by your armor. I don't actually know how you how much armor or what kind of armor you need to wear to protect you from these dart traps. But it's great that I have them, because those dart traps, I think they always drain stats when they hit. Emerald Serpent. I don't think these serpents are any like harder than the fire ones. The problem is that, yeah, they're about the same. But I find poison to be really annoying. Like right now, if a fire's... Oh, that's awesome. Amulet of Grace. I'm really pushing my luck here. Something's going to see me pretty soon. Okay, I can get rid of this Amulet of Constitution. That Amulet of Grace will help us with smithing, among other things. What I was saying is these serpents, like if it was a cold serpent or a fire one, my shield helps me a lot when they breathe on me. Whereas I have no defense against poison, and poison's kind of harrowing because it doesn't hurt you right away. But as they keep breathing on you, it's like a clock that ticks and kills you. And I'm not very good at dealing with that, so... Well, that was close. That troll just moved right out of the way. I can't remember if we encountered one of those in a previous video, but... This is getting kind of intense. Oh, awesome. Another lantern. We can fuel our good one. If I survive. Staff of Imprisonment. What am I wearing? Helm of Brilliance. Yeah, see, it was a Lantern of True Sight. I identified it when I put on my clever helm. This is really dumb. Like, standing out in the open like this is not smart. Mirror, that would be nice. Is this like a vault or something? Maybe it's like a dragon horde. Down shaft. Another shaft. I got the confirmation on these shaft things from Sai, who's an awesome Sil player on the forums. But the thing I noticed in a previous video, or guessed, that shafts bring you up or down more than one floor was right. So if you see an up shaft, it takes you up 100 feet. See a down shaft, it takes you down 100 feet. And I think they are connected, so if you take one down, you can still take it up. I didn't mean to hit the cave troll. I think I tried to run past it. This is not good. Awesome. That means everything in this room is awake. I'm kind of running out by the skin of my teeth right here. I think the creeping horrors are the same as the lurking horrors, that they'll paralyze me, so I'm just gonna go ahead and leave that alone. So that was exciting. But you can see how if you just kind of keep your cool, even I was starting to play too fast. But you can get out of some situations that look like they're gonna kill you. I would really like to kill one of these Sil Roka just for revenge, but I'm sure I'll get my chance later. I don't like leaving behind this many monsters. That is a really good cloak. Way better than my damaged one. Our stealth is quite high now. 21 is really good. Which explains why we're dancing around all these monsters. So that's Sil Roka gone. Alright, let's go explore just the last side. To the right there. See, I was about to take a shot at that, and then I was like, I don't know what's around it. Where'd he go? I didn't know they could open doors. Back in my day, demons had to take the bus or something. Okay, this slamming on this door is dumb, so let's stop doing that. Who the hell built this place? You know what, how many potions of strength do I have? 3. This is insanity. Just open. This has never happened to me before. Well, apparently I knocked enough that somebody decided to come check it out. An Oath Wraith. That is high among the things that I don't want to fight right now. They can entrance you by looking at you, and they're critical resistant, so yeah. This little kind of like castle-like room, I think this sort of qualifies as a vault. So hanging around here is probably stupid, but these doors are really like, give me a fucking break. What the hell? Let's get my strength back. There we go. The only reason I chugged that strength potion is because I was drained. I wouldn't have done it just like out of frustration. Although I was getting close. What's going on here? I don't know if we've seen these yet. This is another thing I can't really fight right now. And he's out of depth. Like, this is why I think this is a vault, because there's a lot of out of depth monsters here. I don't think that Oath Wraith was in depth either, but these Kamen are like earthquake monsters. And when they hit, they cause earthquakes, which, like, it's bad enough that it hurts you by having stuff fall, and it traps you, but the worst part is a stealthy kind of guy, is is that often the rubble hits like other monsters in the room and wakes them up, and it's usually like the monster you did not want to wake up, like the dragon or something. Way too many cat warriors here. I am out of here. Cat warriors can yell too, so don't piss them off. There's just like no good ways of engaging here for an archer. So I'm just gonna leave you guys. You are not my friends anymore. I don't know if 2,000 experience is really enough to do anything at that forge. Let's go see. Yeah. Like, I don't really want to explore. See, and now I'm scared to use the forge because there's so many monsters here that I haven't dealt with. Like that one. That they're just gonna harass the shit out of me. My favorite thing about Sil Roko is that they just like, they can't use the door. They have to smash them down. So if they've ever walked through your forge, you know it. Oh, there's a whole, like, right side to this dungeon I haven't explored yet. What are you going to do? Okay, so let's take a look here. Just out of curiosity, put on our forging gloves, and you'll notice a huge dip in dexterity because we had that big dexterity penalty on the gloves that allowed us to put more smithing skill on it. What else do I have? Grace amulet. I don't think I have anything else that's gonna help my smithing. That's it. But we're gonna try to make something. So let's see, my smithing is 17. I think everything I'd want to make, I remember 18 being a pretty hard skill ceiling, or not ceiling, but like requirement for good smithing things. So what I want to make now, I'm basically, as we go, as I find forges, I'm building a smithing kit. So instead of putting points into myself to make myself stronger, which makes me do stuff like let's sneak around the dungeon and not shoot anything, what I'm doing is I'm investing in smithing, so in the hopes that I'll find some good forges near the bottom and be able to make some really awesome equipment. And then we'll just kill everything, and we'll get all the experience we would have gotten in the first place. That's the plan. Probably we'll just get ourselves into a situation we can't handle and die. But, like I said, the theory of this build is that that's not going to happen. So part of the smithing kit, there are very few things you can give smithing abilities and score to. Gloves are one. Warhammers are another, but you can do this cute trick where you make a warhammer that gives you some smithing skill and put an ability on it that you need. I like to put Masterpiece, I'll explain that in a second. And then you make another hammer that has 2-weapon fighting on it, that has a smithing bonus, that way you can hold them both, which is ridiculous. You're sitting at a forge with 2 hammers, but when we get there I'll show you. But the smithing ability Masterpiece is awesome because what it lets you do is you always have like this smithing threshold to make an item, and Masterpiece lets you burn smithing points to give you more skill, basically. So right now I have 17 smithing skill, but I've invested 9 points. So let's say I'm not wearing any equipment that boosts my smithing. Let's say like my raw smithing skill is somehow 17. So like my grace is 8 or whatever. But I've invested 9 points. I'm actually going to be allowed to make an item of difficulty 26, which is 17 plus 9, but it will drain my smithing points, so my smithing score will go back down to 0. That's why it's Masterpiece. It's like the last thing you make that is awesome. And so that's usually what you use to make your best piece of equipment. Bows, it's hard to make like a Masterpiece bow. You usually make a Masterpiece like weapon, but I don't really think there are many things you can do to a bow that's going to make it awesome. So usually I think archers will make like a Masterpiece armor that gives them good stats or something. Another good Masterpiece item, if your smithing isn't super high, is to make boots of speed. Not the ones that give you sprinting, but they give you speed all the time. Those are quite expensive. But anyways, it's a lot of talking. Let's check out what we're going to make here. So I want a Warhammer. Artifice it. I want smithing on it. The dex penalty. Oh, darkness. That's a nice penalty. It doesn't even cause. I find that taking 2 curses doesn't help. Like, it looks like it helps here, but then when you go to pick the things that you want, it just sets it to what it would have been anyways. So more than 1 curse I've never really found to be helpful, unless I'm doing something wrong. This interface kind of confuses me sometimes, so. So dexterity, smithing, and I want the masterpiece ability. Okay, and I want... Yeah, see, I've done this before. It is 18 that I need. And even with my Amulet of Grace, I'm going to need to put a point into smithing. So I need 800 experience, at least. So if I put a point in smithing, I still have 800. Okay, good. So let's try it. Actually, just out of curiosity, so if I do the dex penalty, and I do the smithing bonus, let's see what happens if I take 2 curses, darkness and wrath. So those are pretty easy to deal with curses. And let's say I want masterpiece. Yeah, so far so good. Yeah, see, it doesn't matter. Even though I have 2 curses instead of 1, it's still 18 difficulty. So I think there's some math going in here that says, like, if you have 3 smithing on a weapon, like, it for sure has to have 18 difficulty or something, I don't know. But that means that... And now, usually when you go back to change things, I find it just bugs out on you, so... Yep, okay. And I guess I should name it the Warhammer of Masterpiecing. That's the word, right? If I knew more like Viking literature, I'm sure I would know some Viking smith or like some crazy giant or something that had a wicked sounding hammer name, but Masterpiece into Hammerin or something, but that's way too long. So let's just try it. So this is a bit scary. I think I'm gonna get swarmed. But you never know till you try. Wow. I can't believe it. That went off without a hitch. Alright. Sweet deal. So now we have a Warhammer that's going to help us smith stuff in the future. And you can see now, like when we've got our full smithing kit on, we're starting to get pretty weak. My dexterity is all the way down to 1, but my smithing's up at 21. And there's going to be some other stuff we can do to boost. If we use Masterpiece, we have a ceiling of 31. And we've gotten some abilities for a lot cheaper than we would have otherwise gotten them. So like I got Masterpiece for, what was that, 500 experience basically? But to take it now would cost me 1,500 at least. And I still want to take Jeweler, so awesome. That's basically my summary. Awesome. Okay, so let's put the longsword back on. Let's put the gloves back on. I think that's it. Alright, let's go find it downstairs. Great, it's in that vault. That's just where I wanted it to be. And just because those monsters didn't come hunt me down while I was smithing doesn't mean they're standing right outside the door. So let's tread with caution. Hey, what's in here? Where was it? Up there. I think this was a fairly safe route. Let's try it. Yep. You guys still doing okay in here? Part of me just wants to kill a cat warrior, but like there are going to be 70 billion of them pretty soon, so. And I really want that Mirrorvore too, but it's not worth dying for. Whoa! Where did that shadow spider come from? Alright, let's go down. Was that a down shaft? That was a down shaft. I think I just finished talking about the shaft thing. Well, part of me would like to flee back to 700 feet, but I'm not going to be able to do that from here. So it looks like we're just going to have to live with it. We got a whole whack of experience. I think what I might do now... There's a lot of things I could do now. But, I mean, there are 2 short-term goals that I have. One is to make that second Warhammer of smithing, which means I'm probably going to need to float some experience for a while just to make sure I can do that if I find a fort. But the second thing I'd like to do just to like survive would be to take flaming arrows pretty soon, because we haven't found any piercing arrows. These poisoned arrows aren't really going to help us, so we don't have any good way of dealing with monsters that just like we can't kill. And if we get surrounded, we're going to need that. And that's going to make rapid fire really expensive too. I'm going to want that too. So this is the thing with smithing, like you get some awesome equipment, but right now we're pouring tons of experience and resources into just making these hokey pieces of equipment that will help us later, but they're not helping us now. Like I can't pick up the smithing warhammer and smash a dragon in the face with it, so we might just die. But that's the life of Sil. I will probably stop here because I have like stuff to do. This was supposed to be a short break. But I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we will see you next time.